Hello friends, next we are going to continue the adjustment of a theodolite. Continuation of the terms of theodolite. Next, how to handle the theodolite, what are the adjustment to be made. In that, two kinds of adjustment, one is permanent adjustment and another one is temporary adjustment. From the name itself you can see when the adjustment are to be made very cautiously and it should not be repeated oftenly. That type of adjustment is called permanent adjustment. And temporary adjustment, whenever at the time being it is required, you have to do it, right? So we have to see the difference between those two, right? In that we continue with the permanent adjustment are made to establish the relationship between the fundamental lines of the theodolite, and one made they last for a long time. That is more important. They are essential for the accuracy of observation. So there are 5 to 6 permanent adjustments are there. We will see one by one. In case of transit theodolites, first one, the adjustment of horizontal plate level. Already I have explained what is plate level. Horizontal plate level, which is connected through the spindle to the tripod, and the horizontal plate level only, it contains the A scale and B scale vernier with the main scale reading, right? That horizontal plate level, how to adjust. The axis of the plate level must be perpendicular to the vertical axis. If it is not, then the observation will be wrong. So it has to be checked properly, right? That has to be made for the permanent. Next comes to the collimation adjustment. The line of collimation should coincide with the axis of the telescope and the axis of the objective slide, and should be at right angle to the horizontal axis, right? So this is the horizontal axis. Our telescope will be in this way, so it should be right angle to the horizontal axis right? If it is not, it has to be checked and it has to be adjusted properly. And the third one is horizontal axis adjustment. The horizontal axis must be perpendicular to the vertical axis. If it not, the bubble tube, everything will get changed. It won't get level properly. So this has to be checked properly. So it should not be adjusted very oftenly. So it should be done once, right? In continuation, adjustment of telescope level or the altitude level plate level, that is the top bubble tube for the vertical circle. The axis of the telescope level or the altitude level must be parallel to the line of collimation. The line of collimation and the altitude of the bubble tube must be in parallel. Vertical circle index adjustment. The vertical circle vernier must read 0 when the line of collimation is horizontal. When you set the telescope exactly 0 0 in the vernier scale, vertical vernier scale, and the bubble should be also in 0 in proper center, it should be matched, right? So these are the things to be seen very cautiously. If not, these adjustment has to be made properly, but it should be with skilled one only. We have to do it, right? Just like that, if you do, the instrument totally will get dismantled, right? Next comes to the temporary adjustment. These adjustment has to be done whenever you are taking the instrument from the box to the ground station, or from one position to another. These adjustment has to be done in order. The temporary adjustment are made at each setup of the instrument, right? So centering, leveling, focusing, already we have discussed about it in detail. We are going to see what is centering, what is leveling, what is focusing, right? The leveling screws are the center of their run, the 3-foot screws. The shifting head of the theodolite is at its center, so that equal movement is possible in all direction. The wing nuts on the tripod legs are tight enough so that when raised, the tripod legs do not fall under the weight. These are the things we check. Then what is centering? This involves the following steps over the station mark or the station peg. The plumb bob is suspended from a small hook attached on the vertical axis. The instrument is placed over the station mark with the telescope at the convenient height and with the tripod legs set well apart. Two legs of the tripod are set firmly into the ground and the third leg is moved radially to bring the plumb bob exactly over the station mark. We have to adjust the tripod and the total setup such that the plumb bob must coincide with the peg where we have to center. If the instrument has a shifting head, the instrument is roughly centered over the station mark, and then by means of the shifting head, the plumb bob is brought exactly over the station mark. This is the centering. Then leveling. See, we have centered over a particular point on the ground, but the bubble tube in the instrument has to be checked. With the help of the tripod adjustment itself, we can make the bubble center. This implies leveling the instrument with the legs of the tripod, that is approximate leveling, by bringing a small circle bubble provided on the tripod in the center. In the bottom portion of that tripod of instrument or with the tripod, there will be a bubble. It can be adjusted with the help of the tripod movement, right? To achieve this, two of the tripod legs are pushed firmly into the ground and the third leg of the tripod is moved to the right or the left in circumferential direction until the bubble is centered. This leg is then pushed into the ground, right? This is approximate leveling. But the precise leveling is already we have explained in the dumpy level. We are having the 3 foot screws. We have to place the 2 foot screws parallel to the bubble tube in the horizontal plate level, such that all the foot screws first we have to tight fully, then it has to be equally unloosened for 10 to 15 rotation. Then these 2 foot screws, either we have to rotate inward or outward such that the bubble has to come to the center. Then rotate the instrument perpendicular to the third screw or these 2 screw, and it is parallel to the third foot screw. Adjust this foot screw either clockwise or anti-clockwise such that the bubble has to come to center. After that, please check with that again here. If not, like a small adjustment you made, then check in all the direction, then the bubble must be in center whenever you are taking the reading, whenever. After making the level, we have to check the centering of the instrument also. We have set it over a particular point, it may get changed. That has to be again properly adjusted, right? Next is the focusing. It consists of 2 things: eyepiece focusing and objective lens. See, objective lens, the object should be visible clearly, and the eyepiece, it should show the crosshairs properly, such that only we have to see the object also. And if any leveling stuff we are using, that reading also should be marked and it should be readed. Further, crosshair also important, at which point we are exactly seeing. Further, crosshair also must, and the object should be also clear, right? So the operation is done to make the crosshair appear clearly visible. The following steps are involved. The telescope is directed towards the sky or a sheet of white paper held in the front of the object. The eyepiece is moved in or out until the crosshair appear clear and distinctive, right? So this is the first step. Next, focusing the objective. This operation is done to bring the image of the object in the plane of the crosshair. The telescope is directed towards the object. The focusing screw, it will be in the side of the telescope, big screw. Focusing screw is turned until the image appears clear and sharp. While adjusting that, the crosshair also must be visible and the object also must be visible. These are the temporary steps: centering, leveling and focusing. These are the 3 steps to be followed, right? I hope you have understood the permanent and the temporary adjustment, right? Thank you, friends.